Welcome to another episode of the Angels Positivity and Love Show. Incredible guests the world over with amazing insights, experiences to share with us. And they've often been through such a unique journey, like we're all on, that at the end of that or in the middle of it, they've decided to give service to others. So we have a lot of healers, doctors, psychotherapists, international best-selling authors, sometimes a mix of all the above. We have Australian actor Ian Stenlake. If you've seen Sea Patrol, Captain Mike Flynn, check it out on Amazon Prime. He gave a particularly good interview, a lot of fun. But we've had a Delta Force operator, a White House physician, you name it. Very, very diverse group of folks. And I would say the intersecting theme through it all is love, allowing more, and just sharing more with others so they too can feel comfortable on their own unique life path and allow for their details to fade a little and to embrace their hearts more. Speaking of embracing one's heart, Temple Hayes is here again with us. She's been on a bunch APL Spotlight series in December, I believe. Check that out, December of 2024. She's just fantastic. Shamanic practitioner, yes, but like intuitive healer type as well. Unity, Reverend, I might not be getting all the terminology just right, but fantastic in so many areas. She wears like 12 hats and is just a whirlwind of love, energy, and support for others. She's been through her own trials and tribulations on her life path. So, Temple, welcome back. Good to see you again.
Oh, it's always a pleasure to be with you. You know, I'm such a strong advocate for who you are and how you show up in the world. I just adore you,
Well,
really.
well, thank you very much. Likewise. And what I'll do is
You're
just,
one of those boys in my life I couldn't say no to.
oh, well, I'm gonna light some sage and blow
Okay.
smoke your way. But if people at home want to catch sage, that's fantastic. We do this
hmm
on almost every show. Allowing, what are we allowing for daily? Forget the show and forget the big topics. That's kind of the rub for us all. And Temple's here to talk to us about a bunch of really wonderful topics today. But first, we'll just take the move of going from here to here. It's a lifetime for some of us, decades, a month, or we're there for a day and then 2 weeks we're gone again. Are you already catching sage in California right now? I'm in Texas.
Oh, well, we have lots of natural sad saging going on right now with
Oh
the
yeah, no,
fire.
you do. Um,
It's no
he-
word.
Here's the sage. Allow for sage and a little bit of flowers to come in. Ask angels to make it so. And are you catching this particular smoke?
Mm-hmm.
Yay. Any flowers coming in?
Purple. The colors of purple.
I love it.
hmm
At home, just give yourself a break. If you have to put your hands out or do something, close fist thinking, be in your heart. Ask angels to make it nice. Ask the universe to come in and get you out of here to here. Here's joy. If you want to hear a couple of different topics, like a sushi menu, you and I have already talked about some of the directions we might go, and you already know where you want to go. Hear something from her and just say, got it?
Got it.
Okay. Where do you want to take us?
Well, you know, I was really pulled by the word allowing, and I feel that's part of our multi-dimensional being. And when we talk about spiritual and being aligned and all that, I'm not being condescending. I'm just simply saying it calls a lot of responsibility on our part, right? And so I think where we can sometimes get into trouble, feel limited or whatever is when we want to make one word mean one absolute thing. Are we, and we're not living in a world of multi-dimensionality. That's why I love your work because it's this way, it's that way, this way, that way. That's an expanded human being. That's what we would call, in its simplicity, self-actualizing. So when you were talking about the word allowing, the first layer, as far as an external allowing, that came up for me are the day-to-day things that we do allow. You know, it could be the spot on the carpet that every time we pass it, we're going to get to it. It could be a change in our diet or program or things that we allow in our lives. It could be the way we're spoken to or the way we're treated that we just allow instead of just taking care of it. And just all these things on the list I would urge you to take the time to write down, what am I allowing? The paint not matching on the wall. Whatever it is, the tire of the car that needs to be washed. These things add up and they become, little Velcro that we tote around from place to place. And as I used to teach in London with stress management, the minute you have it, go do it, and it's done. In many cases, when we can. But I was also thinking about, my and your friendship and the journey that you've watched me endure in getting the message as a spiritual leader to leave one of the greatest loves of my life, meaning city, meaning, I mean, amazing dream community. Mom living across the water, 527 steps away for 5 years. A little girl, that I've adopted, blah, blah. And let me be clear, adopted emotionally only. Or otherwise she would be here.
Yeah.
But I don't want something made up about I leave my children.
No.
I hardly leave anything. But I just, it was a big thing. And so, Michael, my soul was hearing it. It was hearing the messages from people. And I was asked to allow something in my life that I didn't want to. I mean, I was set. Was things perfect? I don't know that there is a such thing. We are human, but it was beautiful, and I love so much about my life. I crossed the street. I was at the beach, pristine beach, walking all the time, warm weather. Did I say warm weather? All that. Anyway, you get the point. But when I came here to visit and was looking for us to have a place to live or to learn the areas, Santa Barbara, this area, I would sit in a hotel at night and I would call BB, whom you know, my beautiful wife, and I would say, I don't see this working.
Mm.
I don't see how this is going to work. I'm not feeling it. I was told to do it, like Moses in the burning bush. I was told to do it. I don't see this working. I feel a lot of walls from the energy of people, or they live behind walls. But the allowing was the honoring of the messages that had been given to me. So I created a story in my psychology, in my expectation about I'm going to have the biggest work I've ever had in my life.
Mm.
That's what's going to happen here. I mean, this is a whole lot to leave behind. I've been asked a lot. So now I get into my personality of ultimatumness. You know what I'm saying? And I know many of you relate, but it's like, uh, I don't see this working, but I know that I must go. And this is what I'm supposed to be. And my biggest work is going to happen here. You know what? 3 years later, I'm graduated and I've been led by spirit to know it's time to go. But I did do my biggest work here. I moved to a place where nothing was ever designed to really happen except inner work on my behalf. So I think that, it's been a huge lesson for me. Once again, a deepening of humility, but understanding if we believe in eternal life, if we believe in we're here many lifetimes, I do, I know you do, then we come to understand that we are called to do some things that's not necessarily comfortable. It's not always a heck of a lot of fun, but
Mm.
the stripping away, and the more grief I would endure, Michael, like my mom died, it's like, really? And I'm all the way across the United States. I feel like I'm in Spain. What? My dog almost, you went through that with me. And it's like, then you want to increase your personality of demanding and expectation and all that. But the truth is, it couldn't have been more perfect for me in that I needed to get that far away because for me to step into the next chapter of my life, and believe me, you're going to hear a lot about it, I needed to cleanse. I needed to release. I needed to let go of organizations, old paradigms, ones I'm a part of, and ones I was teaching people to be a part of, so that this is the new world. This is the new evolution. This is the
And
new time.
and for the
Yes.
audience to know, it's you're moving to Louisiana, New Orleans, and leaving the Santa Monica area for California.
Santa
You just
Barbara, California.
Santa
Yes.
Barbara, sorry. And
Oh,
you've
that's
let
okay.
Unity
Mhm.
know that, you've been a reverend at Unity there for a while. And you just let them know that you're transitioning to a different state and so on. So you're moving. So there's definitely a lot going on that way. I'm going to put up Joy and Charlotte and then Archangel Michael next. But do
Yes.
Joy and Charlotte have reminders for everybody that are related to what we're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, it's something at the core that I believe that you and I both sit with. And I've been this way in my 35 years, moving closer to 40. So that tells you I started when I was extremely young. Um, I believe that spirituality can be fun. I feel it's necessary to be fun. I think the great leaders of real spirituality, Gandhi, Yogananda, Sai Baba. They knew how to have fun. We're so serious sometimes as a culture. Do we get it right? Look what they have. Look what we didn't have. Blah blah blah. But I'm stepping into a whole new chapter of like comedic spirituality. It's like just lighten up, have fun. And I believe that that joy part it's called Just Open Yourself. Joy, it's an acronym. We're always called to stop thinking about who they are and what they did and you were hurt. Well, who hasn't been? Who hasn't been abandoned and all those things. I'm not making light of it, but when you walk through it, you can make light of it because it no longer owns you. It
Hmm.
opens you. And when you see the gift of it, that's the beauty of it, is that you go, thank you. I remember many years ago, this woman was an employee and we let her go. The board wanted us to release her. And she told the staff, you just wait, I'm going to ruin her. I'm going to tell a story and everybody's going to believe it. And she was on a roll for a very long time. And she called all these communities of people that knew me and blah, blah, blah. But the point is that I knew what she was saying. It wasn't true. Is there some wisdom in it? I'm sure, yes, for me. But I knew it wasn't true. But when I walk into this convention, all these people knew me that didn't know who I was before. And I thought of my sacred friend who showed up in a different outfit called unkind and mean and, all that. And in my heart, I said, thank you,
Oh,
thank you, thank you, because now I can connect in a greater way with these people because of you. They know who I am and I'll get to know them. It's like it's the space of understanding um, nothing or no one is ever against us. And
it's
until we decide that yes, they are, and then it is, and then the next people are. But when we can be free from that, doesn't mean we don't have to go through it. We don't have to process, cry, feel our anger and stuff. But on the other side, it's a beautiful thing.
It's interesting where we choose to react or pass judgment. And
Right,
welcome to being human and thinking a lot daily.
right.
Charlotte said 7% less thinking a day is the Olympic gold medal for us all. And if we flip that pancake, that just means 7% being in the heart. I'll put up Archangel Michael. How can we be in our hearts more? How do we even know what our heart is if we're really busy doing the rat race, rinse, repeat, a lot of work, a lot of roles, responsibilities, tasks, failures, and accomplishments? How do we know what love our heart is? How do we know how big it all really is? And you got it from him.
Yeah, I think to me, the deeper seeking is it's how I choose to live my life. Is a space of I barely scratched the surface. I mean, it's like, and I know it sounds very lofty, but I feel like I've only touched the surface of how to love, how much I can receive love, give love. Um, Life is just forever giving of itself and being open to, what presents itself on our path. Just like my experience of 3 years,
Yeah.
it just needed to be. And I really wouldn't trade it for anything. I feel made anew. I feel renewed of the spirit of life, the wellspring. I feel crystal laser clear, you know?
I'll put up Sri Shirdi Sai Baba's photo colorized, the one from 100 plus years ago, and Michael again. And if you can just lock them in, have them come in, and in a moment when you're ready, close your eyes and have them come in, Michael and Sri Shirdi Sai Baba. And just if you want to put a hand out or turn your hand up off camera, and anyone can do this at home, let them come in. One of them might have, will hold your hand if my English can come out, or hold your shoulder. Feel their light coming in. And at home, you can just get a private message. But Temple, have them come in with a very specific observation, reminder for us all. And what are you getting as a reminder?
You know, um, we are all currently in our human suits, regardless of where we live. We are called to understand that there is no way we can disconnect from the earth that birthed us. And we're really called to stop now and be attentive and really look at the bigger picture of us connecting to Mother Earth. We've always been connected. That's the illusion. We have people that keep it separate. I own this, I built a fence, this is my territory. Columbus really founded America. No, he didn't. There were a lot of people here, that kind of thing. But there's that humility of that we are born out of the earth and we return to it in a state of ash and dust and those kind of things. And we're facing some really measurable, times right now and extreme things going on with the earth, not just in the US, but in around the globe. And it's interesting that what is it that of urgency or drama or survival that, oh, well, let's really try to help each other out. I mean, so to me, I hold with you that we learn to do that before there's an urgent, to practice it every day, to be a difference maker, to look at that we have the capacity of that. I mean, as you and I were talking earlier, we've, it's interesting. And even talking about it in a way, I must own, I feel kind of silly. I mean, there are a lot of people that have lost their homes or their memories or their animals and the earth, cries. I cry, squirrels, deer, coyotes. I mean, it's just, you know. So I just want to highlight that I'm totally aware of that as I'm just making a frame of reference. And I do things with my organization, Global Peace Workers, and help buy sustainable things for Kenya or here or North Carolina water systems or whatever. But it's like, I'm sitting here getting my emergency pings for the fire being almost close to my home. At the same time, I'm focusing on the home I just bought in New Orleans and the freezing of the pipes. I mean, and it's so drastic. And it's like if you really, as we really allow that, there's so much drastic. I saw some posts on Facebook about, can you believe those Christians and they're so this and they're so that and they're so not congruent. And I went, I'm staying back from it now because when I launch my opinion, I will not be stopped. I will continue to go, but I'm just taking it all to New Orleans and starting from there. But I'm thinking, people, this is the way it's been since the beginning of people that don't understand that they were made by something greater than themselves, that they have the audacity to think they can control everything and everyone. And the dichotomy and the incongruencies have been there since I was a kid, which is why I couldn't be part of it because it made no sense to me, because it was like, oh, I'm just choosing what is permissible to me behind a label. Anyway, as you can tell, I'm wound up today.
Oh, there's certainly a lot of thinking, a lot of structure, a lot of knowing going on that
Yes,
precludes possibility or precludes love. And that's all the judging we do. Mankind really likes the currency of knowing and slapping labels on stuff. So I
that's
love what
right.
Angel said. There's no right or wrong, there's proper understanding. What's that proper understanding all about?
My, where I am today, I would say that it's where I'm understanding, standing under. And more and more and more, I'm finding just listening to myself, invoking it to show up in a dream. Um, Regardless of who you are, your positionality, your credentials, your how many people, like you on Facebook or social or any of that stuff. At the end of the day, it's a connection to oneself that things feel a level of permanency, clarity, um, and sticking with it, sticking to it. And by the way, it's it's going to be a while before this show comes on, so I won't say that.
No, no worries. I've got an angel named Claire who's kind of clarity, also resilience.
Oh,
And
I love Claire.
yeah,
Yeah.
catch a little vibe from her. And how do we keep it light in the middle of all that we know as fact? That's the human mind. Welcome to being human. And, one crowd over there is like the New York Jets are the worst. Another crowd's like, the New York Jets are the best. Others are
Mhm.
like, I don't even pay attention to them, Giants. Others
Yeah.
are the Saints, LA Rams, LA
Yeah.
Chargers. There's always more choices. And it's that contrast that makes this so lovely. Um, what's Claire have as a very quick reminder for us all about the contrast?
Well, for me, I live in the windows of my personality, a trine, a Leo, which means, I've had a lot of therapy and also some people that have been with me probably have. My personality is very strong and outspoken, and, that I am that. That's an aspect of me, not all of me. So when I get in the conversations and the loop and the discussions or whatever, and I'm just in my personality, it's like, whoa, okay. When I feel a soul, my soul, that's very, very different. So there's times that we do need to be serious. We want to excuse that. We need to get real about some things. But there's other times when we're taking things so serious. And so the resilience for me, the energy for me, the card that keeps coming up called joy as a soul, when I go into my soul and I go, is this quest what I'm envisioning, what I'm thinking? And I just hear a bunch of angels laughing their heads off, and I go, exactly. This is a blurb on on the map, and it just makes me, so happy. Or to see things from a much broader perspective is what you're saying. It's the power of wisdom, common sense, and discernment, right?
And I've got a quote from a Netflix movie that I saw a while ago. I don't remember the movie, but it's this quote that I always would have to go onto a particular social media account and dig down to find it again. But I finally wrote it down in a more accessible spot. In the end, love is what shows us life in different colors.
Mm,
And there wouldn't be as
mm,
many colors if there weren't so many opinions and tension in this. Um,
yes.
so, but it takes a lot. How about we put up Thich Nhat Hanh? It takes a lot to remove yourself from what you know long enough to go broader, bigger, more fun, more light, a capital L. And I think Mother Teresa said it really well. If you judge people, you have no time to love them. That was kind of a cool quote.
Mm.
Here's Thich Nhat Hanh. And if you want to catch an Vietnamese incense temple as if it's right behind you in the room, let us know when you get that. And if you want to feel him come in with just a beautiful, nuanced point that you getting that incense?
What a
Yes.
beautiful teacher, prophet.
Uh, what are you getting from Thich Nhat Hanh about this whole shebang? Look, we're humans doing the human thing, but there's something extra available to us. What's he say? What do you say?
Well, the first thing I heard was we really need to stop making excuses, you know,
Mm.
and continue to raise consciousness, live out loud, speak. I mean, the kind of things that you're doing and beyond words, modeling, you know. Yes.
Here's Mother Hawaiian Angel, who's Min. She's my guardian angel, Dr. Karen Wyatt's guardian angel, episode 110, August 30th, 2024. I think there's 80,000 of us that have this angel as their guardian angel. And she's also the little one of the little balls of light on my cover of my book. But the point is, it doesn't matter what way you see her or feel her. She's light waves of energy and water, soft-spoken professor, but very oceany. So if you want to catch a little ocean, I'm going to blow through my microphone right here. How is this about just slowing down all the activity in the brain and being more inner calm at peace here?
Well, with the words that you were using in the last, couple of phrases was, judgment. And, one of the things is to be aware of the disowned self. Um, and I'm glad I learned that a few years ago. In other words, year 30 years ago, my boyfriend, we still love each other. Um, we're very good friends, but he was an only child born late to his parents, very spoiled and accomplished and lazy. And he thought about himself a lot. I was the opposite in that I thought of everyone else, the oldest in the family. It was my job to help my mother, psychologically, blah, blah. And so when we would go about something, like we went and bought a bunch of flowers to plant for like something romantic, plant flowers in the yard. We go, we get everything, we pull up, and he goes, well, I'm going to go take a nap. Take a nap? Are you kidding me? We haven't even done anything. That was my disowned self because I would work from sun till I fell over. So I think that's important for people to recognize when are you projecting the part within you that you really need to be more of and to sit with that and to ask yourself. But with the teachers that you're showing and the gurus, The beauty of a healthy teacher is someone that sits in silence, someone that will on occasion use a rattle, someone that will hear the sound of a drum, because it activates the healthiness within our bodies. Because a true teacher knows that everything is happening the way it's supposed to. When its time is over, it's over. When things are complete, they're complete. Whereas the woundology of a teacher says, let me control you. Let me be self-righteous. Oh, I got your answer, those kind of things. So all that came up for me when you were sharing that concept.
Well,
Thank you.
I loved the flavor there. I'll put up two unconditional love spirit guides, Native American chiefs, Dull Knife, who's wisdom with a little bit of humor, and then Geronimo. And just hear from them something quietly about the next few minutes. We'll take a couple steps together. We'll try to go beyond words a little. But just hear from Dull Knife first. Dull Knife, wisdom, and if you want to already catch tobacco, sweetgrass, juniper, desert pineal, sage in the air. I'm not lighting anything. I didn't do it. He's super sweet.
Mm.
And then Geronimo steals the show. You'd think Buddha, Mary, Jesus, Muhammad, Thich Nhat Hanh would be a big deal, but he's action, dry wit, but slang. Yeah, nah, duh. You already know the answer. Just do
I
it.
mean, look at those eyes. That's a million souls in that in those eyes.
And go ahead and catch a whoosh from him that goes right through you that you're like, oh my, that was wonderful. Pure action. Got that okay?
Hmm.
Okay, I'm going to show my light on my hands, but once you see it and say it, ask for the universe to do more light. Then we're going to go more just love coming in without anyone seeing anything, but it's a feeling thing. It's again, Piglet and Winnie the Pooh. I think we did this maybe before. Piglet asks Winnie the Pooh, how do you spell love? And he says, you don't spell it, you feel it. So that's kind of the point on this. But catch a
Hmm.
little bit of light between my fingers. Everybody gets a dad joke. It's one everyone's heard before, maybe. What do you call a fish with no eye? Fish. Drop the I. FSH.
No, you didn't. You did.
And catch a little flow of light between my fingers. What are you getting?
That's a lot of energy right there.
What colors are color? Is it white? Is it gold? Is it
Yellow.
good? I'm gonna go bigger though. Ask everybody who's been coming on, like Dull Knife, Sri Shirdi Sai Baba, Ananda Mayama, everybody, to kick it into gear and get extra. Like Flexolite, you can get a flower, geometric pattern, spirals, wisps.
Mm.
And at home, if you need extra help, put a hand on your heart, breathe more through your mouth. Just do something, shoulders up and down, exhale like a whale if it's hard. Just relax. Be in your heart. Your heart knows how to do everything. Trusting your heart's a whole nother matter. Okay, now what are you seeing? Anything extra, extra light, extra object, extra flares?
A continuation of the gold. Red is coming in. Some beautiful colors of blue, like cobalt blue, which is an amazing healing energy.
I love it. And the last little bit is here from, I'll just pick the three that are on the laptop, Dull Knife, Joy, and Michael. Hear
Hmm.
what's coming your way in terms of love and energy. I'll start it, but it's really everybody else's energy. So I'm going to just do this and put my hand up towards you. Feel what you can feel. My hand got warm the second I did that. And I'm going to whoosh once or twice. But if you could allow angels, chiefs, gurus to come in that are all loving. And one more time. Feel love. And then when you're ready, if you could talk to us about feeling love and life within and around you. What do you have to share?
Mm. Well, in shamanism, when we look at the aspect of life, love, It's the aspect of water, 90% fluidity in our body, 90% in the world. And so when we think of that, we honor the creatures of the deep, all of the vibrations and the songs, the whales and the dolphins and the stingrays and the angelfish and all of them, the tarpons, all of them that they are singing, the manatees in harmony and the depth. And to me, that is a great teaching because it carries with it exactly. It carries with it the containment, a sacred container, the cauldron, the cup of life, the wellspring, the energy of fluidity and flow. And so more and more love for the person that says, I want more love, then the question would be, are you willing to go deeper inside yourself? Love is more than surface. It's more than an exchange between a person or people or a little bit of love I have left because somebody else took it. It's about the depth of oneself. And the more depth we create within ourselves, we just want to give it away. We just want to share it. We just want to express it because it's infinite. There's no limit. Um, and it's the greatest healer. It's the greatest healer. It's not meant to be Velcro.
And I'll do three sentences about compassion um, from different angels or figures that I think you could have a trillion definitions of compassion, but I'll put three up, and if you can see what resonates and which direction this goes next. Jesus, maybe in 2014 or so, said, compassion is open eyes and open heart.
Mm.
An angel named Mac, don't call her Mackenzie, said, compassion is treating every moment with the awareness of a newborn baby. And Dolnafe, who we just had up, said, compassion is being kind to yourself and letting go of past failures and accomplishments in the now.
Hmm.
What jumps out of all of that for us from you?
Um, I really feel that all of the journey is so necessary. Even the things that are hard for me to admit that they were necessary. They were. They grew me. They shape-shifted me. They still do. So there is no mistake. It's like Shirley, our failure. Shirley MacLaine, I love that statement. She said that we don't make mistakes, mistakes make us.
Mm.
So any aspect of my life, anything that I've encountered, kind and unkind, has always been instructive. Oh,
Everything, yeah, everything's your instruction. That might have been Pema Chodron saying something like that. And then Shirley MacLaine, we've had on a few times Britt Elders, who's CEO of Shirley MacLaine and known her for ages, who's down in Arizona, but she just did a spotlight series like you did. Um, and she's a fascinating filmmaker and author for folks to perhaps check out, especially if you like the galactic aspect of everything or how big the cosmos is. We may not be the only casino in the Vegas Strip temple when it
exactly.
comes to Earth. Can you talk to us about the biggest picture right now that people are wondering about between drone sightings all over the globe or orbs turning into drones and this and that? Are we alone in the universe? Is it big? Is it still all about love? And is it not an opportunity for growth for mankind, for us individually?
Mhm.
What's your reminder for us on all that?
Well, I can say from life experience that in 1979, I went to a meeting and actually met someone that worked for the government, high-end position, and he actually said then, indeed, there is other life, and we have them, and we're exploring them, and they're not going to tell you because they don't believe you can handle it. Those were his, the summation of his own words. And he went on to build a light center in Black Mountain, North Carolina. It's still there. People come from all over the world. He's no longer with us, but Yes, I would say there is. I think for me, it's like I go back to that young graduate that goes to the farmer and says, I've got all these new bells and whistles and everything. I think that's very fascinating for sure. On the other hand, I'm still learning how to do what I know and what I believe in and do it better. So it's like people want to know more about their karma and their past lives and stuff like that. There's, good for you. But you still got this one. This is the space that we are in now. And so, yeah, I think it's somewhat new discoveries are always fascinating. And I imagine people laughed at the safety pin. Can you imagine a sticky note presentation? How dumb is that? And yet look at what would we be without a sticky note? Even if we don't use them manually, we have them on our computer now. I would just be lost without them. But we have thought some things were pretty crazy. But again, my my voice would say, as long as you're spending more time externally than internally, because bells and whistles, we still need to discover the mystery of the magic within. It's unavoidable,
Mm.
either through willingness, through pain, through gain, or happenstance. But that's how I believe. That's how I've witnessed life in its finest hour.
There's a Japanese farmer. He grows vegetables for like all the five-star restaurants want his vegetables. And I saw a documentary about this guy, and he's very Zen-like. Even though he's growing vegetables, and the cucumber may be the size of two cucumbers and more delicious than any we've ever known on the planet, he's so much like a Zen master in the way he talks. He said once about vegetables, never pretend to understand. Constantly remind yourself that you don't know what's going on, and the vegetables will help you understand them. It's a little bit
Mhm.
like your farmer reference.
I love that.
Cows
I
will
love that.
instruct, the sheep will
Mhm.
instruct what they need. Um, how organic do you feel your life path has been? Is just one situation after another arise, and do you carefully unpack it? Do you figure out later to unpack it? You've had a lot of flavor. How do you view your path to date, where you think you're headed? Because now it's New Orleans uh, coming up. How do you view all this texture and all this flavor? And you just suggested earlier in the show more flavors coming, and you're excited to share that flavor with people.
Absolutely. I feel if we live life as knowing we have a unique path, it's totally unique. There is no one size fits all. That's where we can get into trouble. Oh, everybody's doing Ozempic now. Let me go do that. Well, did I ask myself? Did I test myself? Did I sit with that? Not that Ozempic is wrong. It may just be wrong for you. Do we listen? So we're not designed to be herded as a society. It's not natural for us. Oh, that's it. And they're doing it. So I'm going to go do it. So for me, the path has always been the next expansion, the next moment, it presents itself. And then when I know better, I do better. And people want to interpret things, like for example, that I'm mostly vegan. And that just triggers people. I don't know how you do it. And I go, were you required to do that to be spiritual? It's like it's about the path. It's about the journey and listening. I grew up on a dairy farm. Are you kidding me? I mean, I love salmon and stuff like that. And it was one day I didn't want it anymore. That was the path. And then I learned about, the violence in which a lot of these animals are taken. And people don't make that connection. It's about they go through horrific things and they have that energy in their being. And then we go eat it. No, I don't want to do that. But once you know, and in my knowing, that is a true statement. And I feel that in my heart. And so, no, I'm just one person, but I don't feel called to do it. It doesn't work for me. but it's anyway, I can go on many tangents about all this stuff. I just don't understand why multidimensionally we could look at a few things in life and see what it's telling us. It's like a person that goes out and goes, it's snowing, so the world isn't getting hotter. Okay, you know what I'm saying? It's like get educated, learn all the facets that a broader dimension of what we're talking about, what we're saying, what we're feeling. But
And
that's been it for me. It's just watching the path, watching who shows up, watching the moments, the honoring, just like you coming in my life. You're like one of my favorite people now.
oh,
And, 3 years ago, we could say we didn't know each other, but I feel like I've always known you. So it's that energy, allowing in the most positive way to accept that which is before you.
and I have a passage from angels. If you could just view it as a voice of angels, definitely I didn't write this, but I saw balls of light as I typed it. Um, what's up with mankind? Why angels now, like so available? Awareness for mankind is on the horizon. Call it a spiritual awakening if you wish. It's a chance for all to grow. Mankind is ready for more unconditional love and compassion for all, and more compassion by all for all is needed. Mankind is ready for change from rat race mode. Happiness is obtained in the absence of ego. Ego's afraid to be vulnerable to let go and be in the unknown. Again, there's nothing to lose and nothing to gain. Move past seeing the negative.
Mhm.
Compassion can be taught through one's actions. How? Slowing down would do a world of wonder for most people. Doing it consistently is where the problems and opportunities lie. So stay present. Um, and I'll do one last line out of that, a paragraph later. Being in the moment is to do compassion for all. And I thought that was a very pretty reminder from angels to all of us. What's a reaction or a takeaway from that passage?
Well, the fact is that true spirituality is hard. It's not a piece of cake. It's not a walk in the park. Um, and I don't think enough people present that. It's like parenting a child is hard.
Yeah.
Surviving them as teenagers is hard. That's just a fact. It's just what it is. And it's so necessary for the individuation. Spirituality is hard for our own individuation of the divine. It's not a summer camp reality. It can be very, very tough. The thing of it is often I feel people create a paradigm that says, I'll keep workshopping, I'll keep listening to podcasts, I'll keep, doing my journal and everything. And one day I just won't, I won't feel the burdens and I won't have, I would say that you feel them more. I would say you probably cry more. I would say that for someone to say, "Oh, I'm so glad the fires didn't come to you," for me to say, "Well, actually, they did." I'm feeling it in my heart right now. There's a lot of people, or I'm so glad your home in Florida is okay. Well, yeah, a lot of people aren't okay. So it's truly the we concept. Um, and being appreciative that people care about you, but also as a sacred teacher that we're all in this together, regardless of it's like you've seen many memes in the Pacific Palisades and Santa Monica and Malibu, that area. It's like it's no respecter of your job, well known you are, how much money you have, or if you have very little. It just life is, and we have lots of compassion for that.
Yeah, North Carolina, Florida, Ukraine. I mean, there's at any
Tennessee,
given time, there's
Ukraine,
25, 30 locations that are hotspots big time.
Nepal. It's just a world.
I'll put up a lot of angels now. If you don't mind treating this like a fireplace, I definitely won't be able to see you, but it's all the angels have ever taken in a photograph at a
Mm.
concert in Austin, Texas. But there's Joy in the middle. There's
Oh,
Claire right there. It's not snowing, it's not raining.
I got to show you something because you'll love it. Let me find it. That's beautiful, all those orbs. Look at this.
Oh, I love that.
That's me and BB in Abidjan, Brazil at like 5 o'clock in the morning.
I love
And
it. And what were you guys doing?
all the
Hiking or just
orb. We were
sacred?
we were there at the time, 14 years ago or whenever, at the John of God experience.
Yep. Pre-prison John of God.
Hmm.
Pre-prison John of God.
Pre-prison John of God. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Huge. I love that. If you want to have all the light in the world come in, but you can start to see flecks of light around you. So I'm going to use this as a jumping off point. You've got your photo there, but a lot of
Hmm.
angels, and if you don't mind putting your hands out, it can be off camera or do a mudra or any form of palms up, though, somehow. It could be this off camera. Let all the angels come in and really lift you up or whoosh you, call it what you will. Don't worry, it's not like we're recording on Zoom for a later date and people can watch this in the years ahead. Just kidding. Um, but let all the angels come in and any which way and loose that you want to catch them, have them come in. Let us know like when you get it, but get a few keywords or a reminder, a mantra, or a simple, 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 simple reminder how we can all slow down. What are you getting? Are you feeling any extra from that? Or was it too serious of a talk?
Oh no.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I'm just feeling just a lot of melodies coming through me. And I believe the people that are listening are as well.
Good.
Like you said, that sense of mantra, that sense of connection, that sense of spirit.
Here's Archangel Michael. How about a final topic that is a good one for us to focus on? What's he suggesting?
That, as the word says underneath his name, that wonderful guidance, right? That wonderful flow, that wonderful, when you give a direction, God, good orderly direction, when you give a direction to your life, then things come forth. Like I decided, around May or June, I really wanted to start getting up really, really early. I did it in the military. Certainly, it's not a new concept to me, but I mean, really early, like dark early. And I ended up with a puppy, and he starts getting up every morning, like at 5, every morning. So it's like that good orderly direction. It's like it comes. And when you put in the direction, don't argue with the GPS, don't argue with Waze, don't argue with Google Maps. Just go the way, believe that there's a satellite system, an overview that you're not able to see, and go with it. And don't argue with it.
Yep.
Hmm.
Learning to pay attention more. And
Yeah.
I think two of the four things I think I've learned in 13 years is where you put your focus is where you put your focus. How you
Yes.
spend your energy is how you spend it. You're already spending it all day long, but if you could just slow up a little, you might notice where it's kind of a waste of energy, and you're going to always waste a lot of energy. So give yourself a break. The third thing that I think I learned would be angels exist, trust that it's so, and you're never alone. And you can get a lot more help anytime you're willing to get out of your own way to let the universe assist. Can you talk to us about that last little bit that we're totally not alone and you know this. So can we hear Temple Hayes remind us again that like, hey, this is a team effort here. Like do your stuff, but allow for a little more fun, sparkle advice, guidance, like you were just saying.
Hmm. Well, as you referred to earlier, all the football teams, without one of those people on that particular team, it would have never happened.
Mm.
And so we can pride ourselves in, oh, we're all about ourselves or we got this or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's all about a team, whether it's the team of the hood, the team of the family, the team of consciousness. I laugh at all the organizations that use the word international at the end of their name, and they've never served another country or anything. You know what I mean? It's a team, it's global, omni-local, as I've heard it called. So it's the energy of that. So um, one of the things is my way or the highway. It's an old slang term. I'm going to do it my way or the highway. So it is the highway. And that's what you teach. It's the highest way. It's the evolution of what is, what we're moving into, while at the same time drawing upon ancient wisdom. We need to be listening to ancient wisdom. It's there.
Always or always, as you
Yeah,
would. Well,
always, for always. That's it. Yep.
Temple Hayes, it's great to have you on. Thank you very much for your time and big hugs. And I guess we should have been saying the New Orleans Saints in all the examples. So
Hey, they got that.
thank you very much for being on the show.
Bless you, dear. Thank you for having me.